It's 1764 and a new act has just been passed. Smuggling goods was a big nuisance for Britain, and with the Sugar Act, all sugars are getting taxed, and Britain is cracking the whip on smuggling once and for all.
Stop it right there. Pull into the port. Give me that box. It may be a smuggled good, which is illegal. No, these are my goods. You can't see them. Let's see what we have in here.
Don't look in my box. Please stop.
Let's see what kind of goods you have in here, colonist. They better not be smuggled. Sugar. Yep, these are smuggled goods from the Dutch. You could go to jail for this. And I'll make sure you do go to jail. Yeah, King George, I got a sugar bust. I'm gonna arrest this colonist, so I need more backup pronto. Oh my goodness. I just attacked a British soldier. He was going to arrest me for smuggling Dutch goods into the new colonies. Guess I'm on the run now. Honey, I'm home.
Honey, I can't believe you smuggled Dutch goods into Boston and you attacked as a British soldier. We're gonna go to jail.
How could King George do this? Just a while ago, it didn't matter if you were smuggling goods in from the Dutch. It was way cheaper than East India Trading Company and all their items. But now I'm gonna go to jail for this. Whatever will I do? Oh, flummery. You're coming with me, Colonial.
No, don't steal my husband.
Please don't. Tell my colonial wife I love her.
This act was one of the first passed by Britain and immediately was causing problems with the colonists. It mainly hurt Boston ports, as most of the goods there were smuggled. While this was a big act at the time, it certainly wasn't the worst that Britain would do to the colonies. Britain would pass many more acts, ultimately causing the colonists to rebel. The year is 1765. Just last year, Britain ended a 7 years war, and they have found themselves terribly in debt. However, colonies aren't responding well to the taxes. Now they have passed the Quartering Act, which requires colonial families to provide shelter for the invading British troops. Things are not looking good for either side, as the prospect of revolution looms closer.
Who is it?
According to the Quartering Act of 1765, you are required to give me housing and food, as I am a British soldier.
I don't know if we can make room for you. Let me get my husband.
I'm sorry, we cannot house you. We do not have enough room. As you see, we have a small house here. If you cannot compensate for me, then you will be required to pay for my inn fees. How could British Parliament pass this law without informing the citizens? This makes me so mad. So mad I might want to rebel against the British. No, please. You can have a place in my home. You can sleep here. I'm glad you came to your senses and gave me your place to stay.
I'm so angry these British soldiers are quartering in my own home.
Hello, King George. I am a British soldier. What do you mean? That there's too many of us to quarter their homes? Are you telling me I need to camp on the streets now? Okay, whatever you say, big boss.
Six years later, and the British find themselves with a problem. There are too many soldiers quartered in Boston, and not enough room for them. King George orders the soldiers to set up camp in public spaces, which is only a breeding ground for fights. Many believe these altercations of camped-out British troops and disgruntled colonists were big factors leading towards the Boston Massacre.
Hey, British soldier. Look over here, you stinky British soldier. Get out of our town, you soldier. Look at me, you idiot. This is for America. That's it, you stupid colonists.
These were just some acts passed by the British during the 1760s. However, there were 6 years of cruelty from the Quartering Act to the Boston Massacre, and another 5 years after the massacre until the rebellion actually transformed into a war for freedom, a war against cruelty. These acts inspired colonists to cause change and tell the story of America.
What kind of smuggled good do we got here, colonial? You could go to jail for this, you know. The Sugar Act means you can't bring sugared items. Stop it. It's supposed to be on me. Stop. Stop throwing. Stop throwing.
Do you not want me to throw?
No.
Oh.
Okay, stop.
Your foot's out of jail.